In this video, we will show you how to replace your headlamp assembly on this Honda Civic. You'll have one of these on each side of the front of your vehicle. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we have to do is safely raise and support the front of the vehicle so we can make our way directly under the front. Now from underneath the vehicle, we're going to start separating the grille panel from the lower splash shield. This is going to be held in place with two 10mm headed mounting bolts, one on each side, and then also several push clips making their way across the center. Let's start with the push clips. For each one of our push clips, you want to carefully start removing the center. I'm going to be using a trim tool. You can use pretty much anything as a small prying device, even a flat blade screwdriver. Now on our vehicle, it looks as though one of our mounting bolts has already been replaced. Typically the 10mm bolt will be up through this port here, leading up towards that body of the vehicle. This looks like it's an 8mm, so I'm removing this. Okay, let's make our way over to the other side of the vehicle. You're going to find that you have two more push clips, one on one side of the vehicle, the same on the other side. We'll dislodge those. Now with all that out of place, let's head towards the corner of the vehicle just in front of our front tire. We're going to find another push clip. Now that we have that separated, we're making our way up inside the wheel well area here so we can start dislodging the fender liner from this area of the bumper cover. Typically for this, you should be able to just pull it aside. We're going to gently flex this out of the way so we can gain access up along the top corner of the bumper cover leading to the fender. In this area, you're going to find a small Phillips head mounting screw. Go ahead and remove that. We'll tug on the bumper cover, removing it from the fender. There we are. Let's pause on this side of the vehicle. Repeat this exact same process on the other side of the vehicle. Once you've done that, make your way up inside the engine compartment. Now we've completed both sides. We're back up along the front of the engine compartment. We're going to start dislodging the bumper cover and upper grille from our upper panel here. This is held in place with 4 push clips, so we're just going to start removing those. Of course, removing the center first to unlock it, and then remove the outer portion as well. Just make sure you're holding onto that bumper cover, pressing it rearward towards the vehicle itself so it does not fall off and potentially get damaged. Let's take hold of that bumper cover and remove it from the vehicle. Now that we have the bumper cover off, we can start removing the headlamp assembly with its mounting bracket. Now the mounting bracket and the headlamp assembly are going to get removed at the same time, and then we'll disassemble them on the bench. Let's start by removing 3 10mm headed mounting bolts. There's going to be one up along the top, one down along the bottom underneath this bracket, and one all the way over on the far corner. Let's go for that bottom one first. It's a little bit more difficult to gain access to. Of course, I'm using a long extension for this. A quick inspection of the hardware, of course. Let's continue on to the next mounting bolt. Now we're making our way along the side of the mounting bracket here. This 10mm bolt is the one we're going to remove. You do not need to remove this mounting bolt. Now we have some movement here. Let's make our way to the last mounting bolt up along the top of the headlamp assembly. Let's get this one right up here. Now we can take hold of the lamp assembly and its mounting bracket along the bottom. If you were looking up along the top, we actually have to tug gently on this upper ridge here, and we can start sliding this away. Keep in mind you do still have wiring harnesses leading along the backside that will have to be dislodged. Now we can see along the back side of that headlamp assembly, and we can see all three wiring harnesses leading to their corresponding bulbs. Let's start disconnecting each of these. For them, you're going to find that it has a small locking tab that you need to squeeze in on and give it a wiggle, slide it out and away. Got a little bit of dirt in here. There we are. Thorough inspection for corrosion, of course. If you see any, it needs to be taken care of. Let's move along to the next one. Same process here. Go ahead and squeeze in on that locking tab. We'll pull that out of place as well. Before we make our way to the next electrical connector, you're going to find that you have a mounting point for your wiring harness right along the back side of the assembly here. For this, typically if you just take hold of it, you can gently flex it and pull it out and away. Now it's time for that last connector. Alright, so we have that headlamp assembly on the bench here. Let's have a look along the bottom of the headlamp assembly mounting bracket. In this area, you're going to find another 10mm headed mounting bolt that you have to remove. Once this is out of position, you can remove the bracket from the bottom of the headlamp. Go ahead and take hold of that bracket and we'll slide it out of position. Alright, it's time for installation of our brand new headlamp assembly. The first thing we want to do is have a look along the backside. I'm going to show you where the adjustment point would be. This is exactly where you would make your adjustment for the beam of your headlight once it is installed in the vehicle and everything's connected. This is fairly simple to gain access to. For this, typically I just use a long Phillips head screwdriver, and you can turn this either clockwise or counterclockwise to adjust your beam. Now with that said, let's start installing our bracket along the bottom of the headlamp assembly. When installing that bracket, the first thing we want to do is align the outboard side. We want to make sure we have it aligned with its tabs here, and the mounting bolt port is also aligned. There's no mounting bolt that's going to go in here at this point. It also goes through the body of the vehicle. Once we have that aligned, we're going to continue on with our lower mounting bolt as well. There we are. Can pivot this as necessary. We'll get that other mounting bolt in down at the bottom here. Before tightening this, just confirm everything's still aligned. Snug it up. Take hold of the bracket, confirm it's properly secured, especially down in the area that does not have a mounting bolt. If this is off kilter, it's not going to align properly. Assuming it is, let's get this installed in the vehicle. We'll start with the electrical connectors here. After you plug them in, just make sure they're properly secured. We're also going to secure our wiring harness into its mounting point as we continue on down the line. There we are. Now we're going to start bringing the headlamp into position here. The first area that we'll pay attention to is along where the headlamp and the fender meet up. We want to make sure everything's properly aligned and not pressed inside of the fender. When installing the mounting bolts, we are only starting them in. We are not tightening anything until they're all started in. Put that corner bolt in here. Time for the lower mounting bolt. This one's the hardest to gain access to. It's easiest if you just put it on the socket with your extension. We'll bring it all the way through this port, start it in. They're all started in, let's snug them up. Let's just make sure that everything's still properly aligned as we continue on. Last one up top. Take hold of the assembly, confirm it's properly secured in place. After confirming that, just go ahead and repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. Okay, now it's time for installation of our front bumper cover. Let's start bringing this into position. As we bring it over, pay attention along the bottom of the headlamp. That's where the bumper cover needs to sit, directly above the bracket here. Aside from that, we have our upper grille assembly. That's going to go underneath this upper cover. Start sliding it in. Align each side of the bumper cover as you continue pressing it, lining it up. With that settled in, we're holding the bumper cover up against the vehicle. Continue on with your locking pins up along the top here. Just go ahead and press in the outer portion, lock them in with the center. We want to make sure we have that fender liner going behind the front bumper cover. Now, underneath the corner of the front bumper cover and the fender liner, it's time to start installing our plastic push clips holding the two together. Can flex things as necessary. Let's continue on making our way across. During the removal process, our vehicle was missing several push pins, so we're just installing as many as possible, making our way all the way over.
Now we're going to get the vehicle ready to aim the headlights. Start with the tire pressure, making sure all 4 tires are set at the appropriate pressure. Remove any excessive weight that's not normally in the vehicle. Find a wall that you can drive up to where the ground is level. Measure 25 feet away from that wall and mark the ground. Drive your vehicle up to that mark. With the headlights off, look for the center dot in the headlight lens. Measure from the ground to that center dot. You can use a ruler to help you out. Transferring that measurement to the wall, making a mark with some tape. On the driver's side, measure down 4 inches, putting another piece of tape. For the passenger side, you only need to measure down 2 inches. Now, turning the headlights on, it is easier to do this at night or in a dark area. Locating your headlight adjuster and using a Phillips head screwdriver, turn your adjuster one way or another to bring the headlight up or down. Once the headlight is adjusted to the tape mark on the wall, move on to the next headlight. If you're confused because the beams seem to blend together, you can always have someone stand in front of the other headlight while you make your adjustments for that one. Now your headlights are aligned and you're all set to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.